Hey everyone, my name is Sajda. I go by Saj, and I have a little kitten here, and he is restless because I'm not playing with him. So I make these little videos, and I started back in 2016, and I stopped for a while because life got in the way. Even though I do write about life and talk about life, I'm thinking of picking it up because recently something happened. I had a weird breakup. It's weird, and for the last 2 years, the grief, the recovery, all of that has been going on. Add more fuel that as part of the layoff that has been went on beginning of this year, I lost my job. I've been doing consultancy work as well as looking for a job. I ran out of my savings, the same old story. I just came back from a job interview. But that's not the reason I'm making this. It was a 50-minute drive one way, lots of traffic. And while coming back, I was listening to a book and this thought that crossed me. For some time, I thought I was talking to myself, but it turned out I wasn't. There was no indication that I was not talking to myself. Turns out I was the perfect patsy. I was set up. More than feeling anything, I feel laughter. I feel it's just hilarious, and I feel it's brilliant. And that brings me to what I'm about to talk about. There's all kinds of people, right? We are all kinds of people. We all have good and bad in us. When I look at someone, I never classify them as bad people or good people, to be honest. This is what I see. I see we are as people, but we do have good and bad in us. Sometimes we don't even realize that we are doing bad things. This is this one quote that I came across that I love it. I think it speaks volume. All of us can only meet and understand others as much as we understand ourselves. I am not a very complicated person, but that became the complexity. Someone who was fascinated by how I am, fast forward years later, he or she find that exact same things as annoying. Nothing has changed. The only thing that changed is that this person, he saw me from a distance, and then he saw me up close. The same applies vice versa, but I never saw it coming. That's on me. I'm a big believer in taking responsibility for most of the actions we do, because whether we know or not, we do have a part in everything that happens to us. I'm not talking about I'm not saying we have control over all our lives. We don't. But we do have control over how we react, how we respond, how to be human, all of that. Grief is non-linear, people. I have been so angry with myself that I'm feeling all these feelings, right? I'm telling myself, why can't you just let all of this go and then be, you know, it's been this many times, this many months, this many years. But it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. The closer you felt someone, you were to someone, the deeper connection you had, the importance they had on you, your life, your thoughts. It takes time. And please, if somebody tells you that you can unlove a person, I'm telling you, you can't. And unless you really didn't love the person. But if you did love the person, you're gonna beat yourself up for loving the person because you didn't see who he or she was, or you saw a part of them and then you fell in love. That is okay. That is okay. And they broke your heart, they broke your trust, and now you are in a place where you can't trust a single soul. That's okay too. Take teeny weeny tiny steps. More than anyone, I understand how hard it is to trust again. My involuntary response is to just hide. And I have been hiding. I have been hiding. I have put my life on hold. I walked away. I hid from who I am because it affected me that much. I could not forgive. I could not let go of the anger I felt for myself for not seeing it. But then something happened recently, and then I started. My first response to the whole thing was how brilliant of a plan that was. I admire it because there was no way I could have thought of it. Then I laughed. Then I thought, this is it. This is that point where I step off of that bridge and burn it. I have no false expectation of the grief that's just gonna go away. No, it's not. It's like a wound that is healing, and even if it heals, there will be a scar, and the scar is gonna hurt at times. It's just one of those things that I have to accept, and I'm working on it. Me talking about it is one of the steps. So if you're like me, and you are out there, and the biggest point where you're stuck is that you can't forgive yourself for your mistake or not seeing something, or you are so angry with yourself that you paused your life for years, months, days, weeks. It's okay. You don't have to forgive yourself now, right now. You can be, you just be angry for now. What I notice is that the moment I say that out loud to myself, I feel free. I'm not burdening myself right now saying that I have to forgive myself for this. I have to not feel angry for this. Anger is wrong. Actually, no. Anger is the right response. Self-directed anger is a right response if you know yourself. For me, it is, because I internalize things, I take responsibility, and I am angry that I didn't see it coming. But I also know that there is no way I could have seen coming. I am not as smart as the other people. So I accept that I feel angry. I accept that this anger is a little bit baseless. I accept that I have to forgive myself. I accept that that is going to take a little bit of time for me. And I accept that there is a bigger picture. And I accept that this one is not even accepting. This is, I know from last 40 years that so far recovering from things that has gone wrong for me is 100%. So this too shall pass. Yeah, I might have to, I'm not going to be the same person I was before all this happened. But that's the whole point. Growth is all the point, right? I received an email accusing me of a lot of things. Well, some, let's say law was involved. Anyway, I'm not gonna go there. But this email, it really hurt. And I kept thinking, none of the things in that email was true, but the words did hurt. A sentence that keep repeating is that no wonder you are roaming jobless, selling your household items. It's a kind of a shaming thing, right? But I know that I have been doing everything. I was laid off. Didn't go ask them to lay me off. I've been attending interviews non-stop. I've been trying all the best thing I can do. Every single thing I know that I can do. I'm doing every single thing I can. But that email still got to me. That email was intended to cause shame, evoke shame. It was intended to cause maximum hurt. The person knew my weaknesses. And while reading it, my rational self understood that this person knows how to hurt. And these words are meaningless, that just because somebody says something about you doesn't make you that. But it still hurt. Don't. Just because somebody is trying to shame you, I know that it will get to you. But figure out what works for you to get past that shame that is causing. Losing your job is nothing to be ashamed of. If you have if you have depression or anything, you're seeking help, nothing to be ashamed of it. If you have to do a minimum wage job, if you have to sell something that you're not using in your house so that you can pay your bills, do not be ashamed of it. Be proud of it. You are doing whatever you need to do to survive. Shame on the people who shame others for trying to survive and live their life. But again, let's just not go there. Let's just not go to the point where we do the things that we know hurt others. Then the whole eye for an eye will make us live with a world where everybody is blind. My whole point is, whatever you have to do, you do them. You will feel shame, but figure out a way to come out of it. Give yourself some time to feel it. But hold on to your definition of who you are. And that's what matters. What really matters, and I know that nobody can live in this society with as a standalone person. We can't. We need support system. But pick a support system that knows you. Every other person you meet is a critic. But if they haven't walked in your shoes for even 5 minutes, what's the point? That email, if I look at it, it still hurts. What I don't understand is how a person could say that. The email goes on to say that I will become homeless and I will roam the cities and all kinds of stuff. And I feel bad that the person has to go to that. I mean, he or she must be hurting enough to be able to spit out those spiteful words. And I really hope they can find peace. And they can find peace without causing pain for someone else. As far as I'm concerned, I'm sharing what I'm learning. I am nowhere near perfect, fully flawed. I get affected, but I know for a fact that I'm trying. I leave you with this. This is the whole essence of this. Figure out who you are. Accept you are a work in progress. And find people that knows you really well. Even when you doubt yourself, they can tell you, they can remind you who you are. The words from others, it is going to expect it to affect you, but then set up a time limit for you to let it affect you, and then go back to who you believe you are. Do not feel ashamed of what you need to do to survive. Be proud of who you are. And go easy on yourself. This is, again, all of these are advice I'm giving myself too. Go easy on yourself. And don't do eye for an eye. I love you all. I am trying to do this regularly, and I hope I get there. Like I said, work in progress. See you all next time.